Hello, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the most underrated fantasy football options in this NFL season. For number one, I have Jameis Winston. He seems like he's going to be a boom or bust candidate, but not quite as low of a floor. With that being said, he really likes to go for these super aggressive, deep shots, and now he can see better than ever. Even when he was on the Buccaneers and had that 30-30 season, which kind of sounds terrible, it really worked out for fantasy because that's a lot of touchdowns to be throwing, and he got a good amount of yards with it. So even if he's bad, he might still be good for fantasy, if that makes any sense, and I think a lot of people are forgetting this. Next up, we have Randall Cobb. He's back with Aaron Rodgers. This is the perfect time for him to finally have a comeback season, and he's been so bad the last few seasons that no one's really interested in picking him up. He's a pretty easy wide receiver too on a team that doesn't have much competition at all, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to force him the ball at least a few times a game. Next up, we have Jerry Jeudy. I mean, this year he has two options for quarterbacks, so you would think no matter what, he would either have to upgrade or stay the same. I don't really believe in Courtland Sutton at all. George Fant is good and all, but I don't think he's going to take away too many of the touches, and I think Jerry Jeudy has what it takes skill-wise to take a big step up this year and potentially be a dangerous wide receiver. Next up, we have Allen Robinson. This is pretty dependent on whether or not Justin Fields plays, but Allen Robinson has been able to be amazing with terrible quarterbacks. So imagine if he gets a really good quarterback, which I personally feel Justin Fields is, and I think everybody kind of expects that at this point. I think Allen Robinson is going to eat this year. Next up, we have Michael Pittman Jr., and this is pretty dependent on Carson Wentz. With that being said, he did good last year with Philip Rivers, who I do not respect at all. And I think this year, starting off, getting the chemistry with Carson Wentz with T.Y. out for the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks, I think Pittman could definitely get a lot of the chemistry going, get a lot of trust from Carson Wentz, and by the time T.Y. gets back, he's going to be securely in the second to third wide receiver spot and just absolutely buried on the depth chart. Michael Pittman could definitely go off this year if Carson Wentz is everything he's supposed to be. I think James Robinson is a pretty obvious pick with Etienne, or however you pronounce it. With him out this year, that just opens the gates for Robinson. With the whole offense being overhauled, the Jaguars are trying to be a bit more competitive this year. And if Trevor Lawrence can do anything that they expect from him, then there will be a lot better game scripts for James Robinson. It also helps that there's pretty much no halfback on the entire roster who can compete with him anymore. I mean, they might be so desperate if he gets injured that they move Chenault over, so I don't think they're going to go to Carlos Hyde too much. Terry McLaurin, oh my god, I'm excited for this. Now, he's already great, we know that, but with Fitzpatrick at quarterback, I don't know about you guys, some people sleep on Fitz, but Fitz is a good quarterback, and he's definitely an upgrade from what the Redskins, the football team, has been dealing with recently. So I could see Terry McLaurin really popping off. Wide receiver 1 this year, maybe even top 5, which sounds really crazy, but I mean, the huge upgrade for the entire offense in Fitz alone makes every single player on that offense a lot more dangerous. They're in a pretty weak division. I think there's definitely a lot to look forward to if you're a football team fan. Next up, we have Marquez Callaway. I already had Jameis Winston on this list, and that's because this is Jameis Winston's go-to guy. MT is going to be out for multiple weeks. Michael Thomas, he's out for multiple weeks. I think they're going to want to take it slow when he comes back. Callaway looks like he's the go-to guy for Jameis. He's got the trust. He's going to get the touches. He's going to get all the chances. All he has to do is capitalize on them, and so far, every sign is showing that he will. The thing is, he doesn't have to be a good wide receiver. He's just the only option right now, and unless they put Taysom out there, I would consider maybe picking up Taysom, but right now, Callaway looks really promising, and there's really just no one to compete with Callaway. All right, now I got Rob Gronkowski, which you guys might not expect, but I think he's going to be the go-to red zone guy for the Bucs this year. They don't really have a great halfback still. He heated up towards the end of last year when he actually finally got into shape, and he's arguably the best tight end of all time. Tom Brady's trying to go undefeated this year. Gronk's finally in shape again. This is going to be a good season for the Bucs. The last person I have for this video is rookie Ridley Stevenson. I don't see many people talking about him, and everybody that does downplays him because he's on the Patriots. They just traded Sony Michel because they saw all the promise in Stevenson to completely take his spot and possibly even do more. I think Stevenson has a skill where he's going to absolutely carve out an avenue for himself to get a lot of touches, a lot of chances. I think he's going to force Bill Belichick's hand. If you guys enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.